an update on the game that I've been working on in GameMaker, the one that I showed with ants. So just to recap where it was, you have a hole that spawns these ants. They march around the screen, they can gather food and bring the food back to the hole. And you can place lures to sort of direct where they go, and other ants will follow the ones that have walked through the lures also. And that's about where I was last time. Um, so let's talk about what's new now. I've also added now an AI ant colony with the blue ants. So this is the enemy ant colony, which behaves basically in the same way as yours. I don't have anybody directing, like they don't follow the lures for your colony. But what does happen is when ants from your colony hit an ant from their colony, they annihilate each other. So that's a new mechanic. And then I'm going to keep restarting the room so I can show features. Another thing I've done is added this running tally of the food supply and the population. So before, food didn't really have any significance, but now for new ants to be spawned, there has to be food in the supply, and ants are constantly eating the food supply also. So you start the game with 100 food, and then it decreases as your colony grows and as ants are working, and it increases when they bring a piece of food back to the hole. So you'll see when the supply goes to 0, ants are no longer being spawned. But if I can get an ant to bring some food back to the hole, like this guy will, you'll see there'll be a burst of new ants as there's some food to feed them. So the population count is affected by new ants being born, ants dying when they crash into enemy ants, and also I just have when they walk off the edge of the level, they die currently. So there's always sort of an entropic loss of ants as they wander to the edges. Um, so another new thing that I've added is this specialist type, which says soldier currently. And that's those bigger ants that you see. I think every 10th ant that spawns is a specialist. And what the soldiers do is they don't gather food, but they can, um, when they hit one of the enemy ants, they just power through it. They don't stop. They destroy the enemy, and they don't die themselves. So you see this guy's just marching, destroying all the ants. So that's what the soldier type does. And then you can also switch to other specialist types. So the only other one that I have currently is called farmer, which I depict by these little ants with shovels. And their behavior is a little harder to see, but let me see if I can show you. So this one, instead of bringing the food back to the hole, finds an empty spot, and he's planting a new food that grows there. So it's a way of increasing the food supply with farmers. And you can just freely switch back and forth between the two types of specialists right now. And all the other ants are workers that gather food, fight ants from the other colony. So that's about it. I also changed some of how they negotiate going around solid objects, but you can see with this guy who's spinning here, it's not exactly perfect. Still a work in progress. If you just let the game sit here for long enough, eventually the food supply stays at 0 and the population is decreased and your colony is dead. So there is some gaminess to it in that you could try and keep your colony alive by directing them to the food more. But right now it's just a bunch of loose systems with no real object. And that's where I am. Thanks for watching.